sent someone far more powerful nearby. A son.
Well, here we are. I don't really know how to start with this other than this box isn't going to fit in my little review filming space. So this thing's got to go. I mean, it is nice. I do like how it looks. It's a nice glossy finish. One side's actually really blank, so you don't get any of the like legal garbage and stuff like that with the Hasbro and the +4. So this thing's got to go. So I guess let's get the boring ones out of the way. It does come with 2 Stormtroopers. You know, we've seen these a bunch of times before. Now, I do have to say, they do look really nice. Like, the gloss and everything is fine. I mean, it's Stormtrooper, supposed to be glossy. But actually, the helmets do look better. I think they're starting to give us bigger helmets. I feel like on the original Stormtrooper, like the 2021, was so restrictive, but you can kind of see some gaps in there. I feel like they're starting to make it, you know, over time bigger, like it's supposed to be in A New Hope. I know it's technically the Mandalorian mold, or like any new Disney Plus show has this style of trooper, but it's just really nice to see them doing small improvements here and there. I just noticed something actually really cool. I noticed it right when I pulled them out of the box, but I couldn't confirm. I didn't have a figure on hand, but now I do. So Stormtroopers got a new mold for their gun. It's a very small change, but I think it's pretty interesting that they actually put some effort and they gave us a different gun. So on the other one, you can see they have a super long magazine. You got the flashlight on the side. It's a little more rounded overall. On this one, this is a lot more A New Hope. So it's flatter than normal, has a different side magazine, you can see right there. The box on the side is different. The stock is different too. And then I believe they are windshield wiper blades or something, but the ribbing on the front is also different, which is very interesting. They gave us it's not the old one. The old one was a lot like longer and also flatter like this one. So this new one seems to be a mix of old and new, which is great to see. You know, it's gonna help your troopers kind of be a little different on the shelf. It's really nice to see, actually. Really happy that we got something new in this set. Speaking of new in this set, let's move on to StarKiller now. And man, he's right out of the box. The sculpt is amazing. Everything looks great. You know, now, first of all, I guess we should talk about the head if we're gonna talk about like the one thing that kind of stands out on this guy. So zooming in on the face here, you know, this neutral expression isn't bad. He looks really like evil and menacing, and you know, like still a Sith apprentice at this point. You know, it's been forever since I've played the games. You know, I have this mental image, and I think this kind of captures it pretty well with just like that menacing stare. The hair is pretty bland and basic, but you know, that's kind of what he has. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw my story that I was joking he needs to fire his barber, because man, look at that. Look at his hairline. It's all over the place. His sideburns, one's sharp, the other one's rounded. That one kind of tapers down. I don't get what happened to his hair. I mean, yeah, he was you know, running from the Empire, but he didn't look this sloppy when he was leaving. I'm sure that they don't let their soldiers walk around with like super gross haircuts and stuff, so I don't get what's going on here with StarKiller. Alright, enough about the hairline. I guess while we have it zoomed in, let's go over the other details. First of all, this metal looks amazing. Like his armor pads, moving his arms up, you have some nice folds in the clothing, and all of his random straps and accessories. This was a very 2000s thing to do for every character, is just give him a billion straps and buckles and stuff. I guess moving on to my first thing I don't like about it is the blood. Not sure why they did the blood. It's totally would have been fine without it. But they do it here, and then they do it here on the shoulder, which is so weird. I don't know. Going down this arm, he has his... Okay, I don't know what the heck's going on here. He has just a bunch of metal wrapped up. It looks like it's supposed to be some kind of communicator thing, but there's like two screens. One right there. Oh no, that's just a flat plate. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. The skirt, wow, man, the skirt is beautiful. Putting it in light, in like brighter lights than I had it when I first opened it, you can kind of see the, if it'll focus, you can see like that gradient right there. I'm pretty sure that's paint. I don't think that's, yeah, no, that's just painted on. Everything has nice texture. It's tattered. It actually looks really good because you don't only have like the hole right here, but you have like layers to it, right here and right here. Oh, that same gradient pattern. Dang, look how clean that is. Look, they missed those straps perfectly. Holy. Wait, are these straps separate? They're not even separate. Why can't we get clean paint apps like this all the time? Another hole, some more layers to it. Now, actually, I think I can move this aside. Okay, so rotating the skirt sideways because it is a separate piece. Let's talk about his legs. All right, so they're moving away from thigh cuts. We know this, unfortunately. This doesn't suffer. This is pretty good. It's a pretty good system that they figured out here. You know, you're kind of getting all the range you would want out of a thigh cut anyway. Here we have some nice baggy pants. These are some really nice like bends and folds. Now, probably my funny saying this is my favorite part of the figure for a few reasons. One, look at all that texture detail. There's paint down there. There's some kind of like black wash dry brushing going on in one of the two. One more thing before moving away. He, for some reason, has multiple belt clips for his saber, so you can kind of put it anywhere you want. I don't remember this being a part of the game. I guess since we're already sitting here talking about how it's moving, how it all kind of interconnects, we can go over articulation. The head is on a ball peg up here with a ball peg down at the neck. The neck's really limited. It only goes forward so much. It does not go back at all. The way that this is built in there doesn't allow for a lot of range. But, I mean, I don't know. It's passable. He definitely looks down fine enough to kind of count that as down. Plus, I guess if you want to kind of incorporate the torso, that's how he looks. Up, incorporating the torso is fine. So, that's alright. It's just kind of limited, which sucks. The shoulders are, without tearing this thing apart, I think it's the Indiana Jones Adventure Series setup, where it's not an actual like peg at the end of this. It's just a socket and a fake butterfly joint, which I hate. They did it on Blacker Satin. It works on Blacker Satin for some reason. It doesn't really work on StarKiller. He can't really get the range. He can, but it's kind of faking it. It's hard to explain. I mean, that's good, right? But I feel like with actual butterfly joints, he could have gotten better than that going forward. Going backwards doesn't, there's no real point doing it, but he can obviously do more backwards because that's how Black Series works. The arms go up about that much. This one's more kind of restricted just because of the bulk of the forearm detail. Right here goes up more because it's bare and his clothes is kind of pulled away. His sleeve is pulled away. But the hands all kind of vary, but the one kind of downside of them being able to pop out is that they're super easy to pop out. So when you're bending them or trying to articulate them, they can bend out of there, like right there. So I guess just be careful for that. As far as the legs, we saw that they don't have thigh swivel, but you can still move them a pretty decent amount. Let's see, with the skirt, they go up about that far. You could force it more forward, but they go about that far. You can get him to sit down, I think. He does have the single knees, which are pretty good. It's the same kind of thing we're expecting out of all of them now, is to hit at least 90. And, of course, he has the typical rocker with the back and forth. The fourth kind of runs into this sculpting of the bandage wrap thing at the bottom. So I guess moving on to the part of the video I'm dreading the most, the accessories. He comes with quite a lot of accessories. We'll go one at a time here, starting with the biggest one, which actually is a pain in the ass to assemble. It's 3 separate pieces, and they don't really show you how to do it. You kind of just look at the pegs on the bottom, match them up with, or look at the slots on the bottom. There's pegs on the bottom of these pieces that'll match up with the shape, and you plug them in, and they do kind of fold over on each other, as you can see right there. You just kind of pick however you want it. It's weird, and I don't like it. I would have preferred something, I don't know. I mean, it's nice that it's bendy. It's not gonna snap when it falls off the shelf or something, but it's still a great effect. Could have been better executed, but for what it is, it serves its purpose. It's good. Speaking of something that is also kind of weird, we have this hand like force pulse push effect. This is cool. I don't know. It's weird. They could have given us something other than this to. I mean, just give us this open hand like this. We can do the force push with our mind, like we've been doing our entire lives. It's better to have it than not have it. Again, it's just very character specific. So the two coolest accessories by far, well, maybe tied for the other two, we'll get to those in a minute, are the Force Lightning hands. It's really great that we got some that kind of rival Palpatines in the distance that it goes, which is nice. Plus, they're bendy, so you can kind of wrap them around a trooper. I think they showed them like that in the promo pictures with one of them wrapping. Yeah, this one I think wraps around a trooper. So yeah, it's just nice. It is a little kind of it's not as thin as I would want it to be, but can't have everything, and these still look great regardless. Speaking of hands, I have an issue with mine. I'll save it for last when talking about the hand. So first we have this kind of relaxed open hand, which is really nice. We rarely get to see relaxed hands in Black Series, let alone all these interchangeable hands. So it's nice that we have something like this. Kind of tight C gripping hand for his lightsaber, which I'll get into this later. Now for the right side, I have this hand, and oh wow, look at that. I have another of that hand. It's almost like I'm missing a hand. When you count it, all the accessories are there, although they're not really there because I have a duplicate of hands, which is, I don't know, like in a set this big, cost this much. Yes, there's always going to be QC issues. You expect it with paint, you do not expect it with accessories. This set just kind of keeps, it's kind of just keeps going downhill for me. I still really love the set. Don't get me wrong. I'm just kind of keep running into these things that they're trying to upset me. Which sucks because StarKiller is like a character I didn't think we'd ever get. Even with the Gaming Greats line, I didn't think we were going to get him because that line's all reused for the most part. Moving on to his alternate heads, we have the Screaming and then like the kind of evil smirk. This one's good. This one doesn't look like StarKiller. This looks like a completely different character. It's kind of weird. But, I mean, they both work for what they do. The Screaming one actually looks good. I know some people are clowning on it. I think it looks fine. Moving on to lightsaber blades, they did give us the option for red or blue with either stationary blades or the cool, like, movement swooshing, slashing blades. So while we're still talking about accessories, I guess let me show you my biggest issue with this set. Here's your gripping hand for your lightsaber, right? It looks good. You can only hold it in that position because it's like loose in every other position. It doesn't clamp down enough. And this is without the blade. You trying to pose this thing with the blade, and especially that like swinging blade, is impossible. This thing will just constantly like fall like this, or it'll just lose its grip. But just trying to get it to hold the damn lightsaber in the first place is a pain, and once you get it, doesn't look right.
And then these blades only go.
So I think I'm just going to stop the video here. You get the idea. Great figure, amazing accessories. Mine is kind of a weak copy. Hopefully this is a just me thing. I hope this doesn't happen to you guys. But I don't want it to seem like I hate this figure. I love this figure. I've waited so long for this character. Again, never really thought we'd get him because he was non-canon, a video game. But then when they started showing off Knights of the Old Republic figures, I was getting my hopes up a little bit, and then there was that leak a while ago and that never really turned anything. Now we have it in hand, and I'd much rather have the figure with issues than not have it at all, which kind of sucks. I kind of, even though it's expensive, I encourage you to get this one if StarKiller is like a must-have character. I say it's worth it. Stormtroopers are just fodder. That's just more stuff for him to fight, more troops on your shelf. If you're that kind of collector, you can fudge it, fudge the worth to yourself like I did. I think that's it. Be sure to subscribe because I have a lot more figures. This whole month, all of September and the beginning of October have been killer. But I have some great figures I've waited years for. Subscribe to the channel, follow on Instagram. Alright, I'm done. Goodbye.